Yomelis, welcome back to the Naked Mennonite, podcast here for all of Menno Simons' black sheep in the flock, you know. My name, of course, is Stephen Harder, so nice to have you here with me. And I've got Mr. Patrick Siemens with me here, too. We started having a little bit of this chitty chat here last week, you know, about him and his experience as an atheist. And I felt like there was just a couple more things that I wanted to chat with him about here. So I got him here on the line, and I just wanted to, just dive right back in here, you know.
So why are you so angry with the church there, Patrick? Why are you such an angry, bitter person? That's the only possible reason, right? That you would leave this loving fellowship because you're angry.
I think I have some anger. And I think my anger still sits around in the corners of my belly regarding the fact that this is perpetuated for so long. And the system just perpetuates it. And it keeps going. And I think I'm angry at that system for its willingness to use fear to control the people and keep them submitting, giving money, spreading their story, evangelizing the world. And a lot of the people involved are well-meaning. They're just, they're just in the system, programmed, following orders.
Sorry, I missed that. Did you say evangelism or did you say religious colonialism?
Yeah, I suppose you could use that too.
Oh, I didn't.
Well, you
I was
could.
just wondering if you
could.
Oh, right. Okay.
Speak the gospel to every creature. Yeah. Yep. I was in there. I was part of that.
Oh, yeah, because you'd mentioned that using fear as a tactic of the church, but isn't it true that the scriptures say that perfect love casts out fear? I don't think there actually is fear tactics used in the church. Do you?
Right. God has not given us a spirit of fear, but of power and love and a sound mind.
Yo, I preach it there.
Yeah, and yet it's I've been in many conversations with people who trying to convince me to come back and to see it their way, and through some basic questions and just conversation, it usually does end up back to fear because of questions like, well, isn't it smarter to believe in the Bible and be wrong? Because at least you'll be saved forever. Or, what if you're wrong? Those kinds of things. What if?
Oh, yeah. That's a big question.
And
if you
one of my favorite lines is, I'm only slightly, very slightly more atheist than you because of the 3,500 or so different religions. I don't believe in any of them, and you don't believe in any of them, save one. So percentage-wise, I'm not great at math, but you could figure that out. We're pretty close. So what if you're wrong about the 3,499?
Oh, you mean like because there's the Lutherans, there's the Baptists, the Southern Baptists. In Winnipeg, they're the Springs Church.
Yeah.
There's not that thousands.
Well, I'm talking religions, and then if you get into Christianity, I think we're at about 35,000 different denominations. That was a number I'd heard.
Oh.
Yeah. because you might not sprinkle the water on the head properly in that church when you baptize, so you have to get a different colored jar with mineralized water, I think it is, and then pour it over your ear in the other church
Oh,
or
that's
something. Yeah,
ridiculous.
and so we better
They're
split up.
wrong, clearly,
We
about
better
that.
split churches over
Yo,
that and start
well,
another
the
one.
scriptures are clear, Patrick. The Bible is very, very clear on all of those
Yep,
topics.
crystal clear. Yep.
After all, it was only written, what, a couple thousand years ago in a few different languages that none of us speak anymore. But, well, people do speak them, just no one here.
Yeah, and I saw or I heard a joke, and I won't get the joke right, but it was the gist of it was that the Christians go to the Jews and tell them their own history as though they know it better than the Jews do, and it's just funny. The Jews don't believe in Jesus being the savior, their own savior, and you'd think they would know and that they would be able to interpret their own language and meanings of their own cultural history, but the Christians will say, "No, we know better than you." And yeah,
Well, have you read the Old Testament? They're stubborn people, aren't they?
yeah,
Like
uh,
Jesus came right to them, said, "Hey, here I
yeah,
am." They didn't believe.
no, yeah, that
That's so strange. Well, just one of those mysteries of the Bible, you
yeah,
know. We'll have to. Well, you know, I'll when I get to heaven, I'll ask Jesus why the Jews didn't believe him, and then I'll send you a
yeah.
medal, devil
Well,
you are.
yeah, and it's fun listening to the different explanations justifying the Bible, like or why the devil planted dinosaur fossils all over the earth to fool people because the earth isn't that old, or how the Jews' exodus out of Egypt for 40 years through the desert left not a trace of evidence, um, and yet somehow it happened. So maybe
Well,
it just,
they got washed away in the flood,
yeah,
I
right,
think.
maybe, yeah. I think Noah's flood was, yeah, also a fun one to listen to being explained literally. How'd the kangaroos get to
Yo.
Australia? Steven,
Oh,
tell me, how did that happen?
they, oh, you know, with all things, Patrick, God is
The
possible.
Lord works in mysterious ways.
Serious ways. That's what faith is for,
Yeah,
Patrick. Sometimes you just gotta bow your head and believe.
yeah,
That was that was the very words of wisdom someone gave me. Once you may not believe this, Patrick, but you know, once I was also kind of struggling with my faith, and I mentioned this to someone in my extended family, and she said, "You know, sometimes when there's things you don't understand, just gotta bow your head in submission to God." Those words, they stuck with me.
yeah. And that's sort of like saying, well, just choose to believe again.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
and wow.
That's what I did after my first year of college when I had a patch of unbelief. After a while, I said, "You know what? I don't know where I'm going, but I don't think it's a good place. So I'm just going to believe again."
Hmm. And I've not been able to do that. I
Hmm. Well, you should try being 19
yeah,
again. Might
maybe
be
yeah,
easier.
maybe my mind is more flexible then when I'm 19 that I can pull that off. I I want to make sure that I remain open-minded and that I'm not completely closed-minded. So if someone came up with the um, evidence that I need, and everyone's unique, so I'm unique in that way too. So whatever evidence I need to believe again, I am saying that I would, and that I'm okay with that. Um, and I think that's a bit like science too, where you are at a point of knowledge and understanding, where you're at, and you keep your mind open to new evidence and new research and new reasoning. And when you are shown to be incorrect or need some new ideas added or taken away from your current beliefs or lack thereof, I think it's very important to be willing to do that. Ah,
Interesting. Being open-minded. That's sounds dangerous.
yes, it is very dangerous. One of my favorite quotes is, oh boy, I think when I first heard it, it was credited to Carl Sagan, but I think later on I found out it wasn't him, so that can be verified. But um, it says, walk with those seeking truth, run from those who claim they've found it. And so it leaves me, my journey has left me in a place of agnosticism, unknowing, um, being unconvinced, and it had felt for many years very unstable. I think of that saying people like to throw around: if you don't stand for something, you're not going to stand for anything, or something like that. And so,
You'll
or you
fall
fall
for
for
anything.
anything. Yeah, sorry, man, I don't even get that right. So, yeah, it used to feel very turbulent, unstable, almost lost. Um, but eventually that became comfortable and actually more honest and real for me, this state of not knowing. And I'm okay with it. I'm not saying I'm always 100% okay with it. There's still an uneasiness at times, but hardly anymore. And I like it because it's better for my humility. It's better to for managing my ego. It's better for not judging others or not judging anything um, as easily when I just have this state of not knowing anything for sure. And a lot of people, including myself previously, would have thought that that's the most horrible place to be, and that being scared to leave their faith because of that feeling alone is enough for a lot of people not to question their faith. And whatever, I'm convinced now that it is a better place to be.
What would your message be, Patrick, if heaven forbid someone listening in on the party line here, uh, they have that gnawing at the in the gut of their belly there that maybe they don't believe everything that they want to believe, and maybe that they're too scared to ask that question and to open that door. What words of advice would you have for someone who is maybe in a position like that and wondering what they should be doing and feeling a little apprehensive, maybe a bit scared?
Yeah, it is. It's um, it's worth being scared over. It's worth being anxious over. It's not easy. It's not going to be fun. When you walk away from your faith, you walk away from a community. You sometimes have to walk away from family, close friends. You you go through a rebirth, and birth isn't easy. You go through, yeah, a transformation that involves pain and discomfort. But on the other side is is a security and a comfort in knowing yourself better, being yourself more honestly and truly. Um, I remember being a Christian and hearing testimonials of people accepting Jesus and feeling this big weight off their shoulders. And I say, that's my experience leaving the faith. I have a big weight off my shoulders. I don't have to judge, and I don't have to other people, to put them in a box other than me. We're all humans on this planet together, another humanist philosophy. We're all humans together, equal, and um, I like that better. I would, for practical advice, I would say find your local humanist community and just sit in, ask a few questions. If you hear them or talk to them, you'll learn that their story is likely very similar to yours. And you can see for yourself, are they happy? Are they content? Are they worse off? Are they better off? And you can make your decision about challenging or leaving your faith based on that. There's actually a good movie documentary made by a Winnipeg production company. It's called Losing Our Religion. And it's a story about clergy who have left the faith or are in the process of leaving their faith and are stuck. Um, some of them are stuck still being pastors, preachers, priests, and they are actually atheists and they don't know what to do because of all those things I mentioned, losing their job, losing their family, losing their community, losing so many things. But it's a really good documentary, very well done. Um, and the Clergy Project is another thing that is for clergy to come out of the closet per se in their atheism and yeah, find community and find other people like them and to see that no, you're actually okay. And if you still choose to go back to your faith, that's up to you. Do it. But I would say don't just ignore that voice. Be true to yourself and examine it honestly, unbiased as possible. See where you end up. If what you have now in your Christian faith is the truth and it's absolute truth, it will withstand all your scrutiny. That was my philosophy going into my journey. I thought, no, this is the truth. And I'm confident in starting over with my faith that because it's certainly true, I will come back to it and it'll even be better than it was before. Didn't happen in my situation.
But for the rest of us, I'm sure everything else would work out okay. Maybe the Calvinists have a thing about that whole predestination thing. Maybe you just weren't one of the predestined.
Yeah. And again, that's a tough one for that loving, just God to square away, that he would predestine me. Oh
Well,
boy, oh boy, oh boy. I'll have a
you,
word or two with him if I see him.
maybe you predestine yourself, Patrick.
Yeah. How did I do that? How can I undo that? Because I'd like to be who I want to be and still not suffer for eternity.
So you're saying that you just want to sin. That's what you
Yes. Well, that's right. Yes, that's where we were going. Just want to sin. Yeah. I don't. I don't feel like I'm any worse of a person since I've become an atheist. I still hold many of the normal um, rules of life. I attribute them to, well, they're also humanist rules of life. They're also Buddhist rules of life, and there's a lot of crossover, and those ones I'm still good with. Um, and they guide me, and yeah, they can be summed up in like the golden rule, which is in many, many faiths and ones that predate Christianity. Not a new idea. I like it.
the idea of treating others how you want to be treated, right?
Yes, along those lines. Although I've heard that yeah, laid out in the negative is actually more accurate. And why was that again? Don't do to others what you don't want done to you.
Well, if I got an abortion, I think I'd be okay with being killed, or imprisoned. I think that's fair.
Okay.
So, like, I think it's fair to treat each other the way that you want to be treated. You
Mm.
don't see any holes in that logic?
That abortion topic is very hot potato.
Mm,
Yeah.
I
Eye
don't
for an
know.
eye.
Seems pretty straightforward to me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like when it comes to speaking of children, did I hear you say that you have children?
Yes, I have two children.
Okay. And are they still, childish age? Or are they grown up? What's your status there?
One's a teenager and one's about a year away from being a teenager. And yeah, it's been interesting observing them grow up very differently than I did. I I I have this problem. I do it with everyone, not just my kids, but I sort of have these blinders on, and I assume that everyone's life is like mine. And I catch myself observing my kids and going, "Oh yeah, they're Christians and they know all the Bible stories and they yeah, have grown up like me." And then I go, "Oh, yeah, they hardly know Bible stories and they don't know all the hymns and the songs I grew up with in camp." And they don't and luckily they don't have that fear of their salvation or lack thereof like I did as a kid. Um, and yeah, I don't know. It's just a bizarre observation, and I feel happy for them. I feel happy that they'll be able to make their own decision, and they won't have to take this and make it their own, like I was trying to do at Prov. Where they won't have to clear it away down to the foundation, which is God, and build it back up. Um, they will be able to approach the world hopefully with critical thinking skills and reason and logic and science and love and community and all those good things, and be able to be themselves and believe or not believe in whatever they choose to. And yeah, I'm still trying to wrestle with what would I do if they became Christians and joined the church when they are adults. And I know the right answer is that as long as they're happy and they're not harming others, they can believe whatever they want. And that is what I want my answer to be. But I know it would be a struggle. If they became Christians, maybe especially fundamentalist or extreme right Christians, that would be a tough one. But I'd love them anyway.
Well, your parents are able to do it, aren't they?
Yes. Yes. My parents do love me still. And I think they're able to see that I'm still a good kid
Well,
despite my lack of faith.
certainly childish, right?
Yeah. 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 Not something we talk about a lot,
Mm,
or pretty
I
much ever.
can't imagine. So, my last question for you here, Patrick. So, say one day you decide to pass on, or maybe you don't choose. Apparently, we don't have choice about these things or anything. And you close your eyes and you open them, and oh, you're standing at the pearly gate, and there is God before you. What do you want to hear God say to you?
I'm gifting you the power of flight. It's always been a dream of mine to fly like
Oh,
Superman.
yeah, no kidding. Go right back to your teenage days there of flying. Did you ever get your pilot's license at Prof?
Yes, I did.
Oh, and did you
Yes.
give it up or do you still fly?
No, I don't fly anymore. It's too expensive of a hobby. Uh, I get motion sickness and I have a small bladder. All not good things.
3 strikes, you're out of the cockpit. Eject.
No, yeah, I would request God to like give me the ability to fly like Superman because ever since I was a kid, I've had the ability to lucid dream at times. And what I like to do when I lucid dream, even now, is fly like Superman. So I just like take a few steps and launch and fly around. So yeah, but no, if I had a few more questions, I'd probably or what I would. Well, yeah, you asked what I want him to say to me. Um, I would want him to say, "Hey, you know what? I can see that you were a good guy. That you tried. You did well. You raised your kids well. You weren't perfect, but you weren't any worse than most of the other people in here. So, hey, you couldn't find the reason to believe, so I'm okay with that. That's not really a big sin. That's not something worth tossing you in that fire pit over there, because you're still worth something."
After all, it's not your fault that you're so dumb that you couldn't see what he
Yeah,
clearly was communicating to you, right?
I must just be dense, have a thick skull.
Maybe
Can't blame a guy for that.
there's probably a special remedial heaven for people like you.
Yeah,
Just like,
you would think.
oh, poor, like those, like, like puppies with just like 3 legs, It's like, oh,
Yeah,
you're ugly, but we're going to bring you to this nice farm and you can run around in the little caged area till you die
yeah,
prematurely.
yeah.
You
So,
won't get like 36 virgins to yourself, but, there'll be pizza on Fridays.
yeah,
Casual Fridays there for you.
Fish Fridays, isn't that Catholic?
I don't know nothing about witchcraft.
That's why they serve fish fillets at McDonald's.
Oh,
Filet of fish.
just for the Catholics.
Yep, that's the origins of that one.
Interesting. Hmm. Hmm.
And apparently, this is all like religion from grade 10 in school in Rosenort. But anyway, the story was also that um, the fish on Fridays for Catholics had to do with the Catholics were running the fisheries back in the day, and that was a nice way to make sure they had some good income.
And they were teaching you that in school in Rosenort?
Oh yeah, those
Oh,
terrible Catholics. That was
no. Yeah.
yeah,
Must have missed that here. Maybe I wasn't getting those classes like I should have been. Maybe I should have grown up in Rosenort. Maybe then I'd know a thing or two more.
yeah. Hey, but I know someone you should have on your show.
Who's that? Tell me.
Oh, Cameron Duick,
Which Cameron?
the author of Menomoto.
Okay. I was at the MHV the other day and I was talking to someone about that book. And I took a picture of the cover, and I think I may go back and buy it and read it yet. Cameron Duick. Okay, do you know if he's from Ditseed or Yonseed?
He is from Riverton area,
Oh,
so I don't know what that would
that's up
qualify.
north. Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. Well, but
yeah,
he a Duick, you said?
yeah.
Oh, he qualifies for sure.
Oh, yeah,
There's
definitely.
good Quakers up there, and yeah, yo. Well, this has been a really interesting conversation here, Patrick. I hope you'll think about some of these things that I've said. And if you need anyone to lead you in the prayer of salvation, you can just give me a call here and I'll tell you the words to say that will give you back your eternal life that can never, ever be taken away from you. Ever.
Oh, Obayo, Obayo. Well, if they can't, then I'm already good
Oh, yeah,
because
well,
I did that back in the day.
I don't know if that counted.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a
But
little unclear whether you can leave or not, or never leave, or I don't know. Is it Hotel California or not?
I don't know anything about that. I'm not supposed to listen to
Oh,
those
okay.
kind of songs,
Oh, okay,
especially
right.
the long ones like that. Holy drug
Yeah,
anthems right there. That and was it Paradise by the Dashboard Lights? Was that another one that was like 20
maybe,
minutes
yeah.
long? Stairway to Heaven and the likes. Oh, devil music. Now, yet, speaking of music, I think my hymn sing program is going to be coming on right away here. So, thank you so much for talking with me here today. Of course, everyone, you can always connect with us here at the Naked Mennonite at our Facebook group. That's where we'll be. If you have other recommendations of people who would have a really beneficial story for those black sheeps of Menno's flock to hear, then you can find us over there on the Facebook group, and you can get in touch with us there, and we'll have all sorts of information. And it's also just a good community place to connect with other people who maybe don't fit in, just like you. Nio, until then, until next time, this is your host, Stephen Harder, reminding you that underneath our Sunday best, we're all naked. Take care, and we'll talk to you next time.